Alright, we're back. There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him. I don't remember his voice. I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory, it seems. 4 passengers, with fares totaling 20 pence. Okay. He stuck the chap next to him, just like this. Brazen, I say. I must say. Absolutely brazen. I have simply typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion. She's cool. You can trust the guild. Fair fares is our motto. We haven't raised prices above 4 pence in years. The scoundrel stabbing the poor man on the floor. It beggars belief. That wasn't a good reading, but that's fine. I'm starting to wish I hadn't pushed for this now. Some of the jurors don't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments, though, do they? Well, let's see what we can do. We need to get these 6 people to change their minds. I'll have to throw everything I can at them and use some very persuasive language. Just a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. According to my book, that's not quite how it works. Oh? I thought I was going to have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defendant. Unfortunately, once the jurors have decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says. But then, they've reached their conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it could recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched they may become. Then what on earth am I supposed to do? Oh dear, I'm just citing what I've read about British law, Mr. Nerd. Oh my god, he went off on her. Right, I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how to make this work, then? Well, from what I can understand, the key to this procedure is using the jurors' own words to make your arguments. What do you mean? Well, the 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public. They may appear to present a united front, but the truth is, they're complete strangers who just happen to find themselves here in the courtroom together. And that's the way to break them down, you mean? Yes, exactly. That makes no sense. We must listen very carefully to what each member of the jury says, and see if we can identify any contradictory statements. If we can, we then contrast the statements and pit the corresponding jurors against each other. Let them battle to the death until there are no jurors remaining. I see, so it's contradictions in what 2 or more jurors say that we're looking for. In a way, then, this is similar to a regular cross-examination. Oh, yes, I suppose you're right. Slap yourself again. Please, it's funny. Find contradictions in their statements and pit the jurors against one another to break them down. Alright, I might be able to pull this off. No, that's not right. Yeah! Oh, it was a double smack. I have to pull this off. Can we start proceedings, counsel? I would ask you to take the stand for this. I'm expecting a clear and concise rebuttal. Yes, my lord. Look at him in the background. Alrighty. The defense's rebuttal. There's no one else inside. It has to have been him. I trust the driver. 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence. He stuck the chap like this, but then she says that he struck the chap like that. Yeah. Okay, so all you have to do here, this is a pretty cool mechanic. Yeah, you pit one, and then you have to click the one it contradicts, like that. Those 2 statements are completely contradictory. The knife went into the desk. What? Explain, counsel, post-haste. Oh, dearie me. I was only knitting a jumper for my other half. Her accent changes every single time I do her voice. I'm so sorry. I'm bad at grandma voices. What is all this claptrap? What does contradictory even mean, I ask you? You don't know what contradictory means? Oh my gosh, I'm losing it. Oh, I love his little walk. They put so much work into the animations. Look at him go. He's such a little guy. He's such a little fella. Yeah, we've heard from more than one witness that they allegedly saw the actual moment when the defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3.
What? Can't you see that I'm busy here?
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it?
Ha! Want to test me, do you?
She is so close to stabbing the poor reporter lady every single time.
It's like this. Stuck the fella next to him without even getting up, just like the prim banker said.
Yes, that was Mr. Fairplay's testimony. Quite true. Now then, juror number 6.
Oh, is that me, is it? What can I do for you, young man?
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam?
Oh, well, dear, as far as I understand it, it was like this. He stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor. The coachman said so.
Now don't move! Ah! Take a look at these 2 jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up, and he stabbed the poor man after he'd collapsed on the floor. Well, I never! They're stabbing in totally different directions.
What?
It's almost ouchy.
Bless my stitches, what a muddle.
What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth.
Oh. But why? Why the dickens would they lie?
I don't know that yet, but what I do know is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen in all good conscience?
Lies, you say? Oh, dearie me.
Yeah!
I can't abide people telling lies.
Yay!
The scales.
I don't believe it. Wait! Now hear this, my fellow jurors. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him in his black suit. He's clearly some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on us all. Wow. Also, you're one to talk about wearing black. You're wearing very dark colors. Like, maybe that might be a green and the vest might be a brown, but that hat is definitely black. So, like, I don't know what you're saying, man. If I could use magic, you really think I'd be putting myself through all this? Right? Answer me this, Dark Jinx. I'm gonna kill someone. Huh? Me? What exactly is the problem? What of it if 2 witnesses have slightly different recollections of events?
What of it?
Let's say the Sherlock did stab the victim as he was sat next to him on the omnibus. And this young dandy saw him do it. And now let's say the victim collapsed on the floor and then the Sherlock stabbed him again. No, the autopsy report, man. And this old lady saw him do it. Well, what's to say it didn't happen like that, hmm?
Who are you calling a dandy, sir? Why, I should take this knife to you.
We need to get that out of his hands. He is a madman.
Are you calling old? Why, I should take this needle to you.
Oh my gosh. Oh, they're ready to kill each other now. Susano's like, yeah, that was the plan. Were you not paying attention, Miinosuke? I said that we had to pin them against each other. I love that he pushes the band up every time. It's really cute because it's too big for him. It's really cute. I love that animation. It's a good detail. But could the foreman of the jury be right? Did the 2 witnesses see 2 different moments of the same crime? No, it's out of the question. He was stabbed once. Unless they, again, the only way that they wouldn't be able to tell is if they stabbed in, the second time in the exact same wound, like, in the exact same way. Which is impossible, practically. At least you would be able to tell, because they'd have to be aiming. So, like, it's not possible. There would be two separate marks. You'd be able to tell. Okay, unfortunately, Mr. Foreman.
What is it, you Doc Jakes? Come on, out with it!
You're really, if you think he's, like, a witch and he's gonna use magic on you, you're really gonna, like, say all of this shit? Like, how bold do you have to be? He could kill you with his dark sorcery or whatever. Like, this guy's an idiot. He's evil. I hate everyone in Britain. They suck. Not currently. Not in current Britain. In past time. Shut up. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. In Great Ace Attorney Britain. Okay. What you're suggesting is impossible. It's out of the question.
What are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You do realize that I'm only doing my job. As a foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction.
Not really. Don't you just, like, give the verdict that everyone gives? Isn't that what you're supposed to do as a foreman of the jury? I'm not 100% sure. And they should definitely have, like... Well, there's a lot wrong with their jury system, but it is a cool game mechanic they introduced.
Hey, so where's your evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I say the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime. If you say that's out of the question, show me proof.
Okay, I have it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Looks like the only way I'm going to convince him is to present him with something he can't dismiss. Okay, some irrefutable hard evidence. As you wish.
What?
I'll give you the proof. It's out of the question. The two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime as proven by... right there. This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen only once.
Only once.
Only once. Only once?
Only once.
It's just...
only once.
Only once. That's so stupid. It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely one time. He literally said it. He literally said it. Which means these witnesses can't possibly have seen it happen two different times. There was a sound effect for that? I never heard it. I wasn't using headphones the first time I played it, though. I was using crappy speakers. Okay. Alright, I concede defeat. Yay! Oh my god, what happened to my voice? Oh, since when were you up here?
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruto. You did it. If we can manage to change two more jurors' minds, we can force the trial to continue.
Two more. Actually, there is something else that's bothering me about a couple of their assertions.
Then that's where you must strike next.
So I need to pit two more jurors against each other and show there's another contradiction in their assertions. Exactly. How did you hear my voices? How did you read my thoughts, Susato? Huh? Because when it's in blue and in parentheses, it's supposed to be an internal monologue. But she knows. She knows what he's thinking.
Exactly. You can do it.
Well, the scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavy on the side of guilt. And even though the decision should have to be unanimous, it could still go wrong just because two jurors have changed their mind. Their opinion doesn't matter anymore. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue with your summation examination.
We haven't raised prices above 4 pence. With fares, 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence. That's wrong. It would be, if it's only 4 pence, it would be 16 pence.
Objection.
Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
They do? Explain yourself, counsel.
Me? Oh dear, what have I said?
I swear on Silver Blaze's maiden name, I haven't the first idea what you're talking about. According to the group testimony we've heard so far, There were 4 passengers on the omnibus on the night in question, and according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 20 pence in fares.
Quite right, I have those precise details typed neatly here in front of me.
And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence. That it is a fair and convenient single price, just the way London's carriages should be operated. But that doesn't add up at all. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts. Why, man, why? 4 passengers paying 4 pence each. If you do the multiplication,
It would be 16 pence.
Exactly. As I said, it doesn't add up. Literally, the figures are different. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely, 1 person's fare.
1 person's fare?
Yes. In other words, on the omnibus that night, it's distinctly possible there was another passenger we've heard nothing about.
Good gracious!
This can't be right. The coachmen of the guild are good, honest men, one and all. Trustworthiness is the watchword.
The figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy. Fallacy. Fallacy.
I beg your pardon?
Then beg.
Mr. Guildsmaster, I think you ought to consider that if this trial were to end now, the news will surely spread all over London. The news of one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he lets nefarious characters ride his omnibus. Oh my gosh, he's jumping to conclusions, isn't he? Alright then, how do I make it so this miserable trial doesn't end,
Well, according to my book here, you simply launch upon the fire into the innocent side of the set of scales.
Which we already did, because they expected you to press this one first, before the other one, I guess.
No, hold your horses there, coachman. We were all in agreement. Why do you have to go and—
We weren't all in agreement! Whoops, I did it backwards. Wait till I get my hands on you, Beppo! I don't know what his accent is, alright? Please don't ask. Yo, it's even! Let's go!
Ugh, this is all very irritating.
Begging your pardon, sir, I'm going to do the same.
Yay! We did it! Dun, 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 dun. We did it! We did it! We did it! Hooray!
For the love of Mike, not you as well! Who is Mike?
A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters.
What?
Oh, really?
Really, I for one think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again.
Wait, that means 4 jurors are now leaning to not guilty.
We've done it, Mr. Naruhodo.
We've won! Well, not really. You have to continue the trial.
What are you playing at, you dandy fool?
Just a trap, sir. No one deceives me.
But we had a consensus.
I said shut your trap. I know a liar when I see one. And if the chap ever dares to cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this razor-sharp blade and shave every last hair off his head.
Oh my gosh, this is the most disgusting animation ever. That's so nasty. Stop it! No! Please tell me he's a barber.
Well, in a quite remarkable turn of events, the defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there is no longer a large enough majority among the jury for me to adjudicate, and the trial must continue.
Van Zeeks is pissed right now.
I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witnesses to return to their places. And I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth. So, Lord Van Zeeks, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please.
I don't. I want to go home. Oh, he's so mad. Yeah, the first glass crushing. Oh, he's so strong. Having savored the rich aroma of the carmine contents of this hallowed chalice, it may seem crass to crush it to dust. Pray forgive the discourtesy.
Lord Van Zeeks, not again. Our janitors have been so happy to not have to deal with you. Please. I thought you might have matured in the 5 years that you weren't here, but it seems like you're going right back on my naughty list for littering.
Is it cold in here, or is it just me? As your antiquated tone no doubt says, the prosecution may not speak during this summation examination. So I honored a deathly silence and listened to the charade. It seems I overestimated the intelligence of the jury. That is not a good thing to say when you are trying to appeal to a jury, is to insult their intelligence. That's usually not a good idea. Well, no matter. There's nothing so hard to prove as a self-evident truth, it would seem. No. And why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us proceed to the next round of battle. It's getting serious, he took the cape off. Bring forth the witnesses once more! Shit gets real when he takes his cloak off. Witnesses! I trust you heard the summation examination we have just had to endure.
Oh, yes, sir. That I did, sir.
That's such a hard voice to do. My whole core is shaking when I do that. Of course I heard it. I don't remember my voice. I'm sorry, I recorded, I had to stop yesterday because I had like I don't know, my throat was hurting, so I had to stop yesterday, and this is, yeah, this is the next day, so I'm a little rusty. Okay.
Oh, yes, sir. I heard it.
You, sir, on the end. The coachman. I believe it's Beppo. Yes, sir, my lord, sir. If it transpires that in your previous testimony you were attempting to veil the presence of a 5th passenger on your omnibus, you will be found guilty of perjury. You are advised to bear that in mind, sir. Oh, me dear. Now then, witnesses, I hereby call on you to testify before the court again. You will explain the various misgivings brought to our court's attention by the defense's summation examination. I only carried 4 passengers that night, I swear it. But
Well, I, for one, was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus. Oh, okay.
He fiddled us on the fare, he did. And then I saw that blood curdling sight as well. It's all too much.
I tell you, I saw McGinty stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands.
Oh, yes, yes, he stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so, yes.
You think so? That...
Counsel, make sense of this for me, please.
I agree, Judge. The phantom 5th passenger conjured into existence by my learned Eastern friend never existed. The confusion has arisen from the coachman's sly little cousinage. I don't know if that's how that's said. Beppo, explain yourself!
I'm terribly sorry, Guildmaster.
The guild fare is 4 pence across the board. You know that. Am I to understand that you've been overcharging our passengers by a penny a fare?
It's so cold, and the last run of the day is always half empty. You have been dishonest, coachman. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're a disgrace, Beppo! A disgrace! And your selfish actions have brought dishonor on the entire guild.
If I may, sir, I had to pay 10 pence on the bus last week. Oh my gosh!
What?
4 passengers at 5 pence each is, yes, 20 pence. I've done the arithmetic 10 times already, but I just can't make the result come out differently. No, that figures.
I love Susanoo so much.
Well, it would appear that one of the aforementioned misgivings has already been explained. So, counsel for the defense, your cross-examination, if you please.
We've already had the pleasure of a protracted summation examination today. So you intend to continue the parlor games.
I hope that you know that we're in a court of law, Lord Van Zeeks. We're not playing.
Absolutely.
Oh, he's so scared. See, when he was in front of Ouchie, they both looked pitiful. Like, Ouchie was just like, haha, I've scared you. But Van Zeeks is just sitting there, like, shaking his head, like, what is wrong with this guy? Okay. Earlier, you testified that you saw the moment when the defendant allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you?
Oh, yes, yes, that's right, I lied.
You said that the victim was on the floor and described the assailant holding the knife in an ice pick grip. Please, can we get him next to the fires up there or something? Like, he's gonna die of hypothermia.
I suppose I might have, yes, put the cart before the horse, maybe. What's this? Well, I'm quite sure about most of it. I was driving the horses when I heard a scream from the seats on the roof deck.
Oh, I expect that was me, sir.
Then when I turned around, yes, I saw it through the skylight.
You saw it through the seats on the roof? You would have had to... is there any... No. There's literally no way that he could have seen that from the angle he was at.
The gentleman was on the floor and the knife was sticking up out of his midriff. That's right, yes. And the fellow holding the handle was the famous man, yes.
So, in short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all?
I plead the fifth. I really thought I did, but when I could go over it again in my head, no, I suppose I didn't actually see the precise moment of the stab, did I?
Look at him! Oh, he is so strong!
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay?
Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. He didn't really see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that? Hey?
Are you asking me or telling me? He's getting flustered. Might be able to extract some new information from him if I answer him cleverly. Could he have just happened to see the exact moment the crime was committed? Some days are like that. Okay, well, we have to put it be like that sometimes. We have to. It really do be like that sometimes. Well, I suppose some days are like that. Sooner or later you'll see something you wish you hadn't. If you're always peeping through a skylight on the top of an omnibus. We called him a peeper!
Peeping! I'm a respectable city banker, I'll have you know. And I know what I saw. I remember it as clear as a Ballarat day. What does that mean? It was a grim sight, I didn't mind telling you. Shut up, Counsel. Thank you, Mr. Fairplay. Oh, excuse me if I was getting a little hot under the collar there, my lord. I would ask you to supplement your testimony with a clear statement about what exactly you saw. Oh, I can do that, alright. Alright, I'll tell you just how grim it was. I'm trying to get his voice. I'm struggling with it. Do you think I'd forget the sight of those blood-soaked hands? Would you call that blood-soaked? I mean, like, yeah, there's some on it, but, like, what do they have to say about it? This is definitely blood, isn't it? Or paint. Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day in London. But nothing will come of grumbling now. No. By the way, is Mr. McGildy right-handed? Yes, I believe so. He was toying with a coin in his right hand a little earlier. Wow, she's observant. Oh, pity. If only he'd been left-handed. That wouldn't change anything in that situation, though. I think blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really. Okay, that's it. Do we present that? Present the defendant's leather glove. Okay, good. I'm sorry I'm using a walkthrough. This video is gonna be super long, so. Blood-soaked hands. Well, oh, that's not his voice. Well, I admit that soaked might be laying it on a little thick, but anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Blood of both of them were covered in it. Well, that's a lie. Well, I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's more than a little peculiar. More than a little peculiar. My gosh. Okay, we're redoing that entire line. Well, I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but oh my god, I can't do it. Well, I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's more than a little peculiar. I do love the stance he's got with his hand resting on the sword. It's cute. What? Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McGildy, on the night in question. Oh, yes, right. And there certainly does appear to be a sizable dark-coloured stain there. But, as I'm sure you can clearly see, it's only on the right-hand glove. Oh! Why is he? Nom 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 nom. Nom nom nom. Nom 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 nom. Why? Why is he a like hamster? I'm so confused. In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony is inconsistent. Yeah, but no, that can't be right. So you're the liar here, then. That's right. You were quite clear about it. You said it was both hands. All the noises they all make is so ridiculous. Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, it calls your entire testimony into question. You say you saw the moment the victim was stabbed, but is that really the truth?
Objection.
Oh, we're cutting in, are we? It was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. You gotta be a little bit impressed, though, because, like, he said that it was both gloves. Why would he lie about that? And how would he mistake that? Yes, it wasn't both hands, it was only one, but the fact remains. The victim's blood was on the accused. Okay. Pray forgive the discourtesy of simping over a racist prosecutor. He's got a waist. That's all I'm gonna say. He's got a waist. He's awful, but he's built. He's built. He's terrible, and I don't like him, but he is built. I have to admit, when a man is built, I have to admit it.
Objection.
No! Mr. Fairplay categorically stated that he saw blood all over both hands, which means there's a strong possibility that this witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court. Why? Why? I'm a city banker, for pity's sake. My word should be the gold standard. Okay, I don't know about that. I'm a gentleman, not some gutter snipe. Upstanding members of society don't prevaricate. What?
He's claiming to have no reason to lie, but is that really the case? Oh. I forgot to do this earlier. We're just gonna examine a couple of things. In particular this, for no reason. There's no reason I'm looking at this. This portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets of London's gentry.
Oh dear, do you really think we ought to look inside?
Well, it's not as though we know any of London's gentry personally, is it? Apart from our great detective friend, perhaps. I wouldn't doubt if he was in there. Actually, I wonder.
I assure you we will not find Mr. Sholmes's name inside.
Well, let's see what we find. Oh yeah, scribbles.
Gosh, it's crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it?
Well, I suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all, are they? What? After all, not everyone in this country is well off.
Ah, goodness!
What is it?
Look at this! Do you see the name here?
Bruce Fairplay. Wow, that's crazy. I wouldn't have ever known that. I'm sorry. I meant to check it and I forgot yesterday. That's my bad. That's on me. That's on me. I could have done better at building that up, but that's completely my fault. Should that mean something to me? It does sound strangely familiar, actually, Renosuke, I swear to God.
Bruce Fairplay, the witness testifying at this very moment?
Oh, yes, of course. Why is his name in here? The banker. I forgot that line. Oh, he borrowed 20 guineas, did he? What could he possibly be doing with all of those guinea pigs? I'm sorry. And look, the repayment date is fast approaching. Also, I need to ask my friends once again, history friends, do you have any idea, like, what this currency is valued? Because I have no idea. Is pence more than guineas? I assume not, because he borrowed 20. But, like, how big, do you have any idea how big of a sum that amount of money is? Because I have no idea. I've tried to Google it, and I can't really find anything that makes sense to me. So, help a girl out, please. I'm begging you. Thank you. Awesome. I'll pin the comment for anyone who is wondering. Okay. If they know, and if they don't, that's fine. There will be nothing in the comments. It'll be blank. Okay. Look, the repayment date is fast approaching.
It's possible that this is just a coincidence, of course, but this could be very useful information.
Yeah! That's completely my bad that I did that horribly. Okay.
Mr. Naruhodo, if we had some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying,
I almost said Mr. Faraday. That's a different character.
It could turn the tide in this trial completely.
Something to show this man has a compelling reason to lie in his testimony. I have evidence. My lord.
Yes, counsel.
The defense is ready to present evidence.
By Jove, are you sure?
Yes, evidence that will clearly demonstrate why Mr. Fairplay had reason to lie in his testimony.
Very well. I hereby call on the defense to present its evidence. Merry Christmas.
I had to at least once.
Okay, the evidence that demonstrates a motive for the witness's alleged deception of the court.
Right there. This is a list of debtors who owe money to Mr. McGilded. Yes, a list of innocent victims crippled by the accused extortion. See, like, to be rolling in money, his morals are pretty good. Like, he might be misguided about McGilded, we don't know yet, but he's sticking up for the poor. That's something. Like, I mean, that's better than I would expect of him, at least. The point is, among the names of these debtors is your name, Mr. Bruce Fairplay. We are exposing him to this entire court.
What? Mr. Fairplay, are you currently indebted financially to the accused?
See, now he's a super biased witness, and now he has contaminated the jury. He has contaminated everything. We have to start over. We have to have a new judge. Like,
No. Well, it's barely worth being called a debt.
According to this ledger, you owe 20 guineas. Not an inconsiderable sum of money, wouldn't you say?
No idea how much that is. Well, what of it?
Let's suppose Mr. McGilded were to be found guilty of murder. What would become of your debt in that case?
These documents state that the loan agreement is forged between two individual parties. Therefore, were the creditor, the defendant here, to be sentenced to a capital punishment, all outstanding debts which were owed to him would be annulled. They would cease to exist.
Cease to exist? The money would disappear?
Mr. Fairplay,
Is it not the case that you claimed in your testimony to have seen something you never in fact saw in a devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant?
Grrr.
Sorry. Can't help it. I tell it like it is.
Order! 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 Mr. Bruce Fairplay!
Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord.
Let me ask you again, and be aware that your answer may have consequences, may have most serious implications upon your future, sir.
Grrr.
Did you or did you not see the precise moment in time at which the defendant is alleged to have thrust a knife into the victim?
Uh-oh. Your silence speaks volumes. You did not tell the truth in your testimony.
All right, let's not make a melodrama out of this. Perhaps I did overstate the truth in a pinch.
A pinch?
But it makes no difference. I definitely remember seeing blood on McGilded's hands, both of them.
And yet, only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained.
Grrr. So you keep saying.
I wonder if I might be allowed to speak, sir.
Go ahead, Mr. First.
Well, the thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself, as it happens.
Seeing what?
The blood, sir, on the assailant's hands. I think, yes, I'm almost sure that it was on both of his hands, not just one.
What? What? Sorry, Renosuke. Sucks to suck.
Would appear that we're going to need further testimony from all you witnesses. This time I would like to know precisely what you did and what you did not see. Do I make myself perfectly clear?
Mr. Naruto, this is good news. The course of the trial seems to have shifted slightly at last.
Yes. I'd finally have a chance to turn things around here. Okay, this episode might be too long, actually, but it's okay, I'll just cut it into two.
There was blood on both hands of the assailant. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. However, I suppose you might say that I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpired, if that matters.
Yes, it does. It matters so much.
I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both of the attacker's hands with blood on them.
I didn't actually see anything myself, no. Not until I heard that scream.
Anyway, the fact remains. There can't have been anyone else inside that carriage, or we all would have seen.
Well, lo and behold. In truth of fact, not one of you was witness to the crucial moment the crime was perpetrated. You're all on my naughty list this year. Cold for you.
I apologize, my lord, but honestly, there was no one else inside that carriage, and the man's hands were covered in blood. That much incriminating evidence is tantamount to say that we saw the man do it.
That's really not what testimony is about.
Let us examine the interior of the omnibus once more. The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seat, corroborating the witness's account. In other words, there is no substantial nor significant change in the facts of the case. But you have to admit that it's a bit peculiar, wouldn't you say? Like, it's weird that they both saw blood on both hands when there wasn't even close to that much. And, in my expert forensics opinion, I say expert, it's not expert, there's no way that he bled that much. Like, externally. Enough to get it on the seat. I mean, look at that picture. How did it get on the bottom of the seat? That doesn't make any sense to me. And, like, he shouldn't have even bled that much, because it doesn't look like the knife is moved. See, like, if it was moved a little bit in there, then maybe, but it should be acting as a stopper for most of the blood. So, like, I don't know. That's just me, though. That's just me. I think that's a genuine mistake. I don't think that has anything to do with the plot or anything. Okay.
Very well. Your cross-examination, please, counsel.
Yes, my lord. Cross-examination. Okay. And everything you saw of the incident was through the skylight on the roof of the omnibus. That's right. It was fiercely cold that night, but the glass wasn't frosted over.
Oh, yes, I remember. I was shivering. It was so bitter.
Which rather begs the question of why the pair of you were sitting on the roof deck in the first place.
Well, I didn't know about this young fellow, but I couldn't enter the cabin. Oh, why not? It was locked from the inside. I tried knocking, but no one opened the door. It was locked? That's right, and it's a public bus service, for pity's sake. That's not what I call fair play.
Yes, I had exactly the same experience. I tried knocking, but the gent inside just gestured at me to clear off.
Ah, that means that he wasn't asleep like he claimed he was. Or he's lying, or he missaw.
So I had no choice but to climb up to the roof deck and look down longingly into the warm cabin below.
I can assure you I wasn't just looking down, I was glaring long and hard. So you should have seen the moment of the stabbing. I'm gonna scream. And that's precisely why I can tell you with absolute confidence, same thing, that if there was anyone else in that cabin at all, I would have noticed. Objection. If you look at the cart, you can see that, your angle from looking down here would only be those front seats. You would not be able to see into the back at all. So there could have been someone else sitting across. Unequivocal, I would say. Shut up. I'm not sure about these two witnesses. Could they really have seen everything inside the cabin through the skylight? Not a chance, bucko. Allow me to confirm one more thing, Mr. Fairplay. You were riding this omnibus and witnessed the events in the cabin through the skylight in the floor of the upper deck. Is that right? That's right, yes. That's what I've been saying this whole time, idiot. In that case, there's a portion of the cabin interior that would have been out of sight from you. What?
By golly, really?
Y'all are stupid. Obviously, at this stage, we can't say for sure. But the possibility cannot be denied that at the time of the incident, there could have been another passenger in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus.
Objection.
Enough hypothetical meandering, my Nipponese friend. Prosecution demands that you substantiate your claims. After all, the scene of the crime is here, in the flesh.
Very well. I will uphold the prosecution's demand.
And then they show us a diagram. It's here. It is here in the flesh, so point to it on this diagram. That's so counterproductive. Okay, whatever.
You will identify the area on this cross-sectional plan of the omnibus. Where exactly in the omnibus are you suggesting that the particular could have been situated? Yeah, it's right here.
Take that!
Both rows of seats on the roof face in the direction of travel, whereas the seats in the enclosed cabin face each other. Which means the visible part of the cabin, which passengers on the roof deck can see through the skylight, is as I've drawn here. Nice. Van Zeeks is like, you ruined my drawing! My beautiful drawing! It's ruined! I worked so hard on it. That's right, my lord. As you can see, the seat opposite the one on which the victim and his attacker were sitting is obscured from view. In other words, if someone had been sitting on that seat, it's quite possible that these witnesses would have been completely unaware of it.
Garg.
Objection!
Oh, you're gonna object to that, really? It's quite possible some phantom was sitting there. You Nipponese have a forbidding habit of obscuring the truth with ambiguity. Pardon? Where did you get that? What? I hate him so much. Excuse you, do you want to throw hands, Van Zeeks? Because I'll throw hands with you right now.
I concur with the prosecution's rejoinder. The Nipponese really do hide the truth or whatever.
Oh my god, everyone's racist!
In a British court of law, evidence is paramount. I cannot entertain this conjecture, counsel. That is, unless you're able to put a name to this mysterious passenger to whom you allude.
Can you, Mr. Naruhodo?
No. I honestly don't know. Who could it have been? Who could have been in the other seat, which was out of sight from the witnesses on the roof deck? Well, okay, here's the deal. If we know that the attacker sat beside him at the time, then the one on the other side had to be McGilded if we are assuming McGilded is innocent. I understand, my lord. The defense would like to put forward a name. I need a drink. You're a fool. That response was a desperate attempt by a man who has no notion of his own limitations. You'll see. A toast to hard lessons not yet learnt. And then he breaks the glass. I swear, he never drinks it. Watch him. He never drinks it. The liquid never disappears. I was so excited when I heard that the prosecutor was gonna be a drunk, and then I watched and he didn't actually drink any of it, and I was mad because I didn't get to voice him as drunk. I'm mad about it, but it's fine.
Let us not delay, counsel. The defense is still to name the passenger on the other seat.
Thank you. This could be it. This could be the chance I've been waiting for to turn the trial in my favor. On that night, on the night of the murder, the person occupying the seat in the omnibus cabin that was obscured from view was him.
Take that!
The passenger in the enclosed cabin that the witnesses on the roof deck failed to see has to have been Mr. Magnus McGilded.
Mr.
McGilded?
What are you talking about, counsel? That's the name of the defendant.
Objection!
Oh, of course. Yeah! The first throw! If I desecrate this chamber by smashing my hallowed chalice, do forgive the discourtesy.
Lord Van Zeeks! Damn it! Now I have to clean that up. I gotta pay the janitors overtime. You're lucky you didn't set this whole courthouse on fire.
Even though they've got fire everywhere in this courthouse. People talk of those tiny island nations in the Far East as having a learning and culture of their own. Where are you going with this? But I see they use the terms ill-advisedly. What are you trying to say? Thank you. Stand up for yourself.
let me explain in terms that even a student of an artless backwater such as yourself might understand. My gosh. When the bloody scene unfolded, the victim and his assailant were sitting side by side. Oh, I see what you're saying. Multiple witnesses have attested to that fact. It's the very premise on which this case is built. Exactly. That's what I'm saying too. But that premise may be wrong. What? Literally what? If the victim really was sitting beside Mr. McGilded, it creates an inconsistency that can't be reconciled in any way.
What inconsistency, counsel?
The defendant's gloves, my lord. Ah, got him. Both witnesses made the same testimony. They claimed that there was blood on both hands of the person sitting next to the victim.
Objection.
Yet we know the truth to be otherwise. Only one glove bears the gory remains. The point is, even in the face of this irrefutable evidence, both witnesses have maintained their stance.
Yes, their testimony remains unchanged.
Exactly. They both adamantly swear that they clearly remember seeing blood on both hands of the assailant. In short, their memory of events is correct, and their testimony reveals the truth. Thank you. Good job. It was somebody else sitting beside the victim that night, a third party we have yet to identify. And the victim's blood was on that passenger's hands, both of them.
Objection.
And who was this third party? Obviously, the true culprit. I know that you're claiming that, but I was asking for a name. Oh, I don't know.
Extraordinary! Order, order, order! What exactly are you postulating?
Objection.
The defense's postulation is just that, nothing more than conjecture. The witnesses have clearly stated they saw the accused. But when elaborating on his testimony, Mr. Fairplay said the two of them were wearing hats and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. Yes, I did say that. Tops of their hats were obscured by the roof. I could see the rest of them, though.
Yes, that's right. Both gents were most certainly hatted. Hatters do tend to notice things, sir. Hatters.
And what particular styles of hat did the two gentlemen sport, Mr. First?
I'm afraid I don't remember.
And you call yourself a hatter? Okay, I didn't press as much as I should have, which is my bad, but he makes hats. The style of hat makes no difference. I mean, really. There was no third passenger in that cabin. How can you be sure? Because if there had been, the accused, Mr. McGilded, would undoubtedly have offered to depose the fact. Yeah, good point. Unless, that is, you are proposing an even more preposterous explanation. That the accused failed even to notice the presence of the true culprit in the very cabin in which he traveled. Ah! He's right. If there was another person traveling in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus, it's inconceivable that Mr. McGilded would have been unaware of it.
Order! There is clearly a simple solution to this problem.
Bring the accused, Mr. McGilded, to the stand.
Thank you for taking my line, Van Zeeks. What say you, counsel?
The prosecution objects, my lord. Why?
On what grounds?
England?
Denied.
I almost read that. Santa. As a suspect, you will already have made a full statement to the police. Same thing. But what if there's some reason why he's unable to speak freely? Magnus McGilded is no uneducated ruffian. If it indeed turns out the man has been withholding information, you can be sure it will have been a most deliberate act.
Counsel for the defense, what is your opinion?
My lord, should we ask Mr. McGilded to testify or not? Yes. Leave Vel alone, it'll be fine. Yes, we need to hear what he has to say in order to find out the truth. The hand raise. The defense would like to call Mr. McGilded to the stand.
In that case, I would like to hear the opinion of the jury.
Oh, yes, we need a little time to consider this.
If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. McGilded has to say. Get the man out here, I say! It would be utterly illogical not to hear his testimony.
When something needs doing, it get it done. That's how I run things at the guild.
Hearing what the patron of my favorite little park has to say? Oh yes, that would be lovely.
Do you remember why you're here? Yes, the jury says the man must be heard. Okay.
Very well. The court will hear the defendant's testimony. Bailiff, show the defendant to the stand at once.
Oh, thank goodness.
Now, maybe what actually happened that night will finally become clear.
Let proceedings be resumed. Mr. McGilded, have you been listening to the discourse of the day?
To be sure I have, my lord. Oh god, I've forgotten his voice.
There are now two matters on which the court desires to hear from you. The first is whether or not there was a third party with you in the omnibus cabin as proposed by the defense. The second is that if such a person was indeed present, why did you conceal that fact from the police?
Begad, no! 'Tis not in my nature to hide anything at all. Just answer the questions, please. He is so sick of it.
The truth of the matter is, I've been desperate about this all along.
Do I tell yous all or keep me mouth shut?
Tell us what, Mr. McGilded? Are you kidding me? He's really been hiding so— oh my gosh. They always do this.
The fine fellow representing me is absolutely right. In the carriage on tonight with myself and the other man, there was another passenger.
It's true!
Oh, so ridiculous.
Aye, it was me who helped the little urchin get away after it all happened.
You... What? He doesn't even know what to say. No, Magnus McGilded. That convenient excuse can't save you now. I'm truly sorry, so I am, Lord Van Zeeks. I'm sure you'll be wanting to know why I said nothing when I was taken in by the police. I do be having a very good reason, I assure you.
Which was? For real, get on with it.
Well, the little child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Not in any way involved, you see.
What?
If the police had known the wee one was there, they'd have assumed she'd done it. They'd have hauled her into this here courtroom just like myself. I was only trying to spare that. Young hearts and young minds are easily damaged, my lord.
Oh, I love his dead stare. It provides for really good comedic timing.
And who was this young child of whom you speak?
That I don't know.
You don't know?
Aye, well, the wee thing just happened to be in the carriage that night. I never saw her before or since.
Objection.
We have absolutely no reason to believe this man. The prosecution calls for the witness's statements to be disregarded by the court.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the urchin isn't here in this room as we speak, listening to the proceedings.
What? Ah! Smoke! Ah! Fire! There's a fire! Look, someone's trying to get away! After them! It's no use! I can't see anything! What is going on?
Be careful, Mr. Naruto. Cover your face.
Bailiff, don't let the accused escape! Secure the omnibus!
I hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom.
We were hurriedly removed from the smoke-filled courtroom by the bailiff, amid scenes of chaos as people stumbled over one another in their desperation to flee the chamber. We had no idea what was happening. All we knew was that, for the time being at least, the trial was suspended. Yeah! Yeah, it's a good place to end. I didn't think it would take that long to get to it, though. I'm sorry for the abrupt ending of the last one, but I have decided now that these will be 2 separate episodes because this one was just too long. So if you liked it, hit a like and subscribe. I'll be back with it eventually, and some Deltarune. And I have a surprise upload for the holiday of this month. The spooky day, one could say. So be excited for that. That will be an extra upload, I assume. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.